Hi everyone. So today I'm going to deep dive into the concept of inner child healing, go into the depths of what an inner child is and why this healing is important. So let me start with when a baby is born, it does not really have a conscious mind. It's completely dependent on its parents or people around or society, right? Or family. Basically, all the people that it interacts with as a child. It really depends on them for its sustenance. And while that's happening, that's how it starts also understanding things, right? So, for example, how to sit, right? How to talk, how to eat, right? Or even how to emote. All of those things are learned, not by a conscious mind because that's not developed, but slowly by different things that it starts noticing around it, right? So as it starts growing up, right, the baby is taught certain things, not just like we said earlier about talking or eating, but now it's also about uh, how to start thinking, right? Or doing other things in life based on what the input is, again, from teachers, parents, neighbors, everyone around, right? Now this is one way of learning that the child has developed, but the other way, where this is one way where people are directly telling the child what to do, and how to do certain things, right? But there is another way of learning which is known as uh, visual learning, or indirect kind of learning, and that's what the child actually imbibes, right, without somebody telling them what to do. So I'm also referring to my notes here. For example, something that the child repeatedly sees around, okay, that's something that it starts imbibing as how things should be. So, of course, a child might be told, this is how you're supposed to sit, or this is how you're supposed to speak, but maybe the child is not taught the real dynamics of a healthy relationship, maybe because there hasn't been a healthy relationship in the house or in the dwelling that the child has grown up in, right? So, for example, you probably have been told, growing up, the kind of partner you should have, or the kind of financial background, or whatever it is that you should look for in a partner, or you must have. But how do you actually have a good financial uh, relationship with yourself, with your partner, is probably not something that we are taught, right? That how But how do we learn that? We do kind of have an idea. That is something indirectly that we learn from our parents, from everybody around, to develop, right? So we develop a relationship with money based on how we have seen people around us dealing with money, and what money has been in their life, and that's something that we think money is for us. Similarly for love, similarly for health, whatever it has been that we've seen growing up, people around us talk about or be in a certain relationship a certain way, that is what we think is love for us. So I hope that's a little clearer now. So again, going a little more deeper into that, now that is something that is imbibed, right? So when I say that, the indirect learning that's happening, that's also something that's going into our nervous system. Now when it's going into our nervous system, the learnings that we have, that actually becomes a part of a huge data that a child carries within themselves, right? And that's the unconscious information that we keep getting from everybody around us, based on how they're behaving, how they're talking, what they're saying, how they're acting, and again how it impacts us while we are growing. So and now examples would be, if you've seen relationships, right, that have not worked out, or you've seen a lot of stress, or you've seen a lot of lack around money, right? Now if you are a child, maybe at before the age of 11, right, or maybe 12, you start imbibing that information, and for you money becomes stress, or for you money becomes struggle, or for you, if there have been a lot of fights and all you've seen is fights in relationships, then for you love or relationship is equal to fights, right? And that's what registers in your nervous system, and that's what becomes part of your data. Now this is all happening while you're growing up. You really don't have that ability to consciously imbibe things. You feel certain things are important because your survival is dependent on these people around you, right? So you take this information as is, and it becomes part of uh, your DNA or your story, right? Now fast forward to maybe when you're 20 years old, or when you're 18 or 19, right? And that the imbibing of information and becoming part of your story kind of ends around 10, 11, right? And after that is when your conscious mind starts developing, where you start thinking for yourself, where you know uh, think about yourself, and develop your own thoughts. However, if that nervous system or if that data of yours is already filled to the brim with all kinds of information around love, money, health and other things in life, right? Then it's very difficult to develop new ideologies or new ways of thinking, healthy ways of thinking, because your brain has already absorbed all that information from the past, right? So you can see there is this limit, at that age that has happened, and you've kind of only taken things from people around you, and you haven't even had the chance to think about those things yourself, right? Now fast forward to when you're probably 20 or 21 or whatever, and you're trying to manifest, right, a relationship that's beautiful, and your partner understands you, and you're in love and all of that, but your data tells you that love is equal to cheating, or love is equal to fights, or love is equal to isolation or loneliness, right? Because that's what you've seen growing up. Then inevitably, what happens? You end up creating that what is already inside you. So it probably makes sense to you to understand what's inside you is what's outside. Now if the data inside you thinks that love, or knows that love is equal to chaos, or love is equal to cheating, right? Then what happens is, whatever the kind of relationship you're in, you will end up creating an environment of a cheat, like somebody cheating you, or somebody getting cheated, or some sort of chaos. And then you'll feel like that's home, because, or that's what and you'll feel very familiar, and you'll basically be recreating the trauma of what you already have seen in your life. So I hope that makes sense. And so you might want to manifest a lot of money, or you might want to manifest a different financial life for yourself. However, the kind of life that will come out, right, would be a reflection of the data that has already been stored in your body till the age 10 or 11. So that is something that will be reflected. So what will be inside is what's outside. So now we come to why inner child healing is important, because what we do is we actually get into the depths of what the programming is for your inner child. We connect with it, and we try and clear out these programs that are negatively impacting your life, many a times negatively impacting your different areas of your life. So it could be financial, it could be love, it could be health, and so many other aspects that you didn't really have any say in, and then you ended up creating certain hurdles in your life, or attracting certain hurdles just because it's something that's already built in the system, and it's happening that way. So it's a trauma response, right? Now having said that, when we do inner child healing, currently I have 4 sessions planned, where we go and work with the memories, and we try to help you recreate your story with these sessions, with these healings, with the work that we do, and also be able to create space in your nervous system, right? So that you can get in new stories or new ways of being that you now want to manifest in your life. So I can just end this video with maybe an example. I worked with a client recently who had a money story of scarcity, right? So she grew up with a lot of struggles around money, and she was always told that she should be happy with less, right? And she didn't even know that this was kind of a subconscious programming from, her childhood. And what happened was that every time she would make money or, increase her savings, she would end up losing the money. Why? Because subconsciously, her body was telling her that more money means more struggle or more stress, and less money is something that means being peaceful, happy, healthy. And so she kept on losing the money, right? So then we worked with her, and we did reprogramming, and we worked with her inner child, and she was actually able to heal and feel much better. And yeah, and today she's rewritten her money story, and she is manifesting what she wants, especially in a financial life, and she's loving it. So I hope that I was able to give you a good explanation around inner child healing, and you would probably now understand why it is so important. Thank you.